Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Life with the Boys. I'm joined with Jack again, and we got two guests today. One's my brother Brent, and then our good friend Lance. And today we're gonna be talking about dreams and things of that sort, and like sleeping in general. So if we're starting with sleeping in general, how much do you guys sleep a night usually?
School night or weeknight or
Either or,
weekend?
both.
I'd say on a school night, I go to bed at like 3:30. Wake up
Okay.
wake up at 7:20.
All right.
Get
You,
4 hours sleep.
Usually get like 6 to 7 hours of sleep.
Jack?
Um, I try to get like 7 to 9 hours every night.
Yeah, I aim for 7 to 9, but I usually get like seven,
I
seven
get
and a half.
7, but like I'm still like extremely exhausted the next day for some reason.
Yeah, I
just need
usually
like
am
a lot
too.
of sleep, you know.
Yeah, I get it. So like I usually need a lot of sleep. So like if I go out on like Friday or whatever and I sleep in on Saturday morning and I sleep for like 9 hours, I wake up and I feel great. But I usually like getting up early, so I usually don't do that often, but I need a lot of sleep. Like you sleeping, you go to bed at like what, 3:30, right? You wake up at
On a
7:30,
weeknight.
so
On
that's
a
like
weeknight.
that's like 4
4
hours of
hours of
sleep,
sleep.
right?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel generally pretty good. I
Yeah?
mean, like the biggest thing that gets me through my day is I take a nice hearty nap in financial literacy every
Yeah,
day.
no, that's all right.
But no, I mean, on some days like I'll feel a little out of it, but generally it's like sometimes I'll surprise myself actually. Like I'll be like, "Oh my god, I just got 4 hours of sleep and I feel like the most energetic I've ever been."
Yeah,
And then later on it'll hit me like a truck. Like
right.
I'll feel like death.
What about
But
you,
then some
Brent?
days I go fine, but
Yeah, well, when I get 6 to 7 hours of sleep, usually if, let's say, midday, if I just sit down for, let's say, 30 minutes, then I'll start to get tired. But if I'm active throughout my whole day, I'm generally fine.
Right. And everyone needs different amounts of sleep. Like I have a friend that she sleeps like the amount you do, like 3, 4 hours tops. And I mean, she's usually pretty tired, but you aren't that tired. So some people are can actually legitimately run on 3, 4 hours of
crazy.
sleep. Me, I can't do that. I feel like complete shit. Right?
Yeah,
But where all of our brains are wired differently. So it's important for like you to they say when you're not doing anything like you wake up on Saturday or Sunday, right? No alarm clock if you usually have an alarm clock. So just go to bed at like a certain time and then see when your body wakes you up and see how you feel. If you feel really good, track like how much you just slept and maybe that's like the ideal time.
yeah, but do you ever just like like for me sometimes I'll wake up when my body wakes up and then like I'll still feel like really exhausted, so I'll just go back to sleep cuz I just feel like I don't have enough hours on me.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
sometimes like during the weekends, like say we go out or something and I'll go to bed at like 2 in the morning and then I'd wake up at like 8 in the morning because like I'm just like my house gets up early, like everybody in my house just wakes up really early. So I'm just used to getting up so early. So like sometimes I'm like, okay, this is not enough sleep for me, so I sleep in a little more. Like when I was younger, if I went to sleep over like my cousin's house and stuff like that, I would like not get enough sleep, and then I don't know how this relates, but I'd get sick from not sleeping enough. Like if I get like few hours of sleep, like if I get like 3 4 hours of sleep, I'd become like sick.
I guess that makes sense. I
yeah.
know I know interesting that you say like you feel like you wouldn't get enough sleep. I feel like at sleepovers I'd always be the first one up. I don't know about you guys. You ever get that thing like when you're the first one up at a sleepover and you kind of don't know what to do with yourself because you're at another person's
Yeah.
house?
Yeah.
It's like it's weird because I always felt like I mean definitely much more as a kid. I think I slept much better, much more on a schedule.
Definitely.
But
Because you're gone.
I was just gonna say like now it's not even like it's not even intentional. Like I'll get in bed at 11 and I find myself going to bed at 2.
Yeah, but like now you have freedom because you're like a teenager. When I was young, like my parents had a bedtime for me. I
Hmm.
had to be in bed at like 8 o'clock. You know.
They're tucking you in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Night at 8.
even if I don't have anything to do the next day, I always set an alarm because I never like sleeping too late. Like, if I had a choice, I would rather sleep less than oversleep.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I wake up at like 1 2 o'clock, I just feel like my day is just completely wasted, and I'd rather just get up around like 8 9 o'clock because then it's like holy crap, like the day is just like going by slow. Like I'd go through that like during the weekends. I'd go and wake up around like 7 8 o'clock, get everything done that I had to do, like all my chores and whatever, and then I'd be like wow, I still have this many like hours left of the day. Like it'd be like 12 o'clock, and it'd be like the day just started for like people, you know?
Yeah. And going back to your point about getting like good sleep when you're younger, I think for me a part of that, like if I think back to when I was younger, I like slept like a baby, like when I was 10 years old, 12 years old, whatever. But sometimes I have trouble sleeping now, probably because of overthinking and stuff like that. Like I'm thinking about the future, the past, my life now, blah blah blah, whatever, right? But when you're younger, you don't really worry about anything.
You just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I get it.
Something that's helped me along the way. I mean, I like trying things new, so I searched up on YouTube either meditation music or chill music, and I try to fall asleep to that, and it actually helps me fall asleep instead of scrolling through socials or something like that. I just close my eyes, listen to music at a very low volume, and then it puts me to sleep.
Like waves.
Yes, exactly. Something like waves or raining outside, lightning, stuff like that hits me, but it's different for everyone.
Some people like really like ASMR, and that's like something that really puts people to sleep, you know?
I've done that once or twice, the actual
Yeah.
ASMR, and I find it interesting. But I've also
I don't know, it's just like the little noises, you know?
like the
And then like yeah, and then you literally just like it's so weird because it's just so relaxing, and they have like this kind of like deep music in the background, and you're
Mhm.
just like, all
I've found certain ones that are like crazy good at it. Like they'll just put you out.
right. Yeah.
Like they'll be playing with like foam or something. Like it's so stupid, but like it puts you out. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've done like the waves, like the different frequencies with the music and stuff like that, and it's really calming. And I've actually done ones where I've like slept through the entire night with it, and I actually woke up and just like felt like refreshed, because it's like your brain's still listening to it even when you're asleep. So like a lot of people think like when you go to sleep, like your brain just turns off, but it doesn't. Your brain's actually like more active when you're sleeping. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's even 95%. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, they say like that's what they say. Is it true? Maybe, maybe not. I haven't done enough research on it.
I get that. That's the same exact thing with meditation. I feel like it's the same concept with falling asleep to music because after I'm done meditating, I still hear and see the darkness as if I haven't really woken up yet, and I feel like that's the same thing as if I were to fall asleep with that music.
Right. Yeah, I mean, meditating is like kind of like a form of well, there's different types of meditation. So like some meditations are just to bring your attention to the present moment, and you can also do types of meditation where it's kind of like daydreaming. So it's kind of like not the equivalent, but similar to if you're just sitting there meditating, thinking about something. It's also kind of similar to if you're just sitting in class, bored out of your mind, and you're just sitting there and you just start to think about something. You just start to imagine something. You're in a different place, different situation.
It's crazy. There's one place like in particular that I think I just consistently can daydream in. It's not always on purpose. And it's when I'm taking the SAT. When I'm taking the SAT, I'll be in it. I'm like in the zone. I'm fine. I'm reading the passage. All of a sudden, bam, 5 minutes later, I'm like on 3 questions down, complete autopilot. I've been thinking about like the movie I watched last night or like a couple nights ago, and it's crazy. It's like,
That usually happens to me like when I'm at the end of the test. Like
yeah,
okay, so like I
yeah.
take that ACT when I took it, and I'd be on the science section, and I'd just be sitting there, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, can this please be over?
Yeah.
I've been sitting here way too
You
long."
you feel
And
burned
then all
out.
of a sudden, I'm on like the third thing, and I'm just sitting there like dead silent. I'm like, "Oh crap!" Like I had to get back to it. Next thing you know, she's like, 5 minutes, and I'm like, "Oh
You're
shit!"
checking your 20 questions
Yeah.
left. It's
And
actually,
I just start like circling down, you know.
yep. It's funny. I think on my one of my SATs, I actually ended up going to bed at I believe it was 5 in the morning, just because I could not fall asleep.
I actually think it's worse to like go to bed at like a set time when you have it, because then you're nervous, and during the night you're up several hours just thinking about the test, and you're just really nervous.
Yeah, you told me I think like every night before an ACT, you were like, I can't hang out. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I gotta be in bed before 9 or
And
so.
it still
And you-
messed me up.
And then you told me, and then afterwards, you were like, yeah, I still went to bed at 12 or something. I was
And
like,
I still
really?
felt like I got no sleep
Uh-huh.
because I was just sleeping. Then I got up. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna be like, I start pep talking myself at night
Yeah.
for like motivation, just like, you can do it, you're gonna get a good grade and whatever. And then I'll sleep and I'll just be like, what time is it? What time
Uh-huh.
is it? Like, and like I avoid going on my phone because like once I go on my phone, my eyes just like are like, okay, and
Yeah. Then you're done.
I
You're
can't
out.
fall
You're up.
asleep.
You're up.
And then I'm up, and it's just like so messed up because I was up like
Yeah.
every single hour. Is
It's
terrible.
crazy. I think
It's
in
just
my
like my anxiety, you know.
yeah. No, in my experience, I think I've noticed, completely unrelated to anxiety, the less sleep I get, the easier it is to wake up in the morning. Like if I go to bed super late, I can like pop up with my eyes open in the morning. Like I'll hear an alarm, I'll be up. But if I go to bed like, at 11, I find it harder to wake up.
I feel like I'm like that sometimes, but with me, I overthink it when I don't get enough sleep. I'm like, so I'll wake up at like 6 a.m. or whatever. The alarm clock will go off, and I've only gotten like 6 hours of sleep, and I'm like, oh, screw it at this point. Like, I'm not getting any sleep anyway, so I just get up. That's my motivation, though, and everyone's is different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think about like how many hours though. Like I don't analyze the hours as much.
Mhm.
It sounds like you do a lot. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I do too.
You do
Because
too?
like I honestly like I'd rather know that I have like enough sleep. So then like throughout the day I'm just going and
Yeah.
doing my stuff. Like if I don't have enough sleep, I'm thinking like I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm like
Yeah.
I have all those thoughts in my head. Like if we go out late at night, like I don't want to hold anyone back from like staying up late if like I'm gonna be like exhausted because I didn't get enough sleep the night before.
Yeah, and then go ahead.
I was gonna say, I always find like more energy no matter what, no matter when I fall asleep or something. When we hang out, like as friends, like I'll always
Well,
have
because
more
you're
energy.
distracted.
Yeah, maybe, and then I'll get home and it'll hit me. Like I said,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get hit and I'll be like, whoa. Like some night, like
Like the other
the other
night
night we
when
went to Bellworks.
I was like we came back to my house and we were thinking about like what to do and I was just like, yo Lance, you want to do something?
I
And
told
you're
you.
just like, nah,
I
I'm
actually,
tired.
I
And I was
went.
like, damn.
I actually went to bed. Like I had
Yeah.
no joke. I
Yeah.
was like, we were playing spike ball and shit. I was out. I
Yeah.
went upstairs, I went right to bed. And I was like, no.
Yeah. So going back to dreams, do you guys ever like you'll have a dream and you'll remember the dream when you wake up, and it'll be like an emotional dream. So like either something really good happened or something really bad happened, so it'll affect your day. So like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll dream about something if it was really negative, like someone I really care about dies or something like that. Like it'll put me in a shitty mood, and like the next few hours I'm just thinking about it. Or if I have a really good dream, something really positive happens, I'll be in a good mood from the start of my day.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Like this one night I like I don't know why, but I'm not a very emotional person. Like I don't cry like a lot. Like I can't even remember the last time I cried. And like the dream I had put me in that state where I woke up in like complete tears. Like I had a dream that like my parents passed away or like something happened to them like traumatic and then like in the dream I wanted to like hurt myself because of like the death of my parents, and then I woke up and I was like my eyes were just tearing up like because I was like really upset. And then the whole day like going through like talking to my parents and like just like hanging out with my family, all I thought about all day was that dream, you know? And just like how appreciative I am of like my parents and like all the things they do for me, and just like realizing like they're like really important in my life, you know, and I have to spend as much time as I can with them, you know? And that like I can't like keep on like wasting time and not hanging out with them cuz next thing you know, time goes by like that and we're going to be adults and our parents are going to be like old, you know?
I completely agree with that, and that's one of the reasons why I think dreams are so important, because it almost like it gives you a reality check.
Yeah.
And going back to that, I mean, I've also had this type of dream where you, let's say it's emotional, and then throughout the day you'll get these little trigger points where you're like, oh, I remember that dream, and you keep remembering that dream. And I've even had a point where I've had the same dream twice in a row, 2 nights in a row, and it just keeps affecting me. It's like a cycle, and then something else will happen. I'll have a different dream, and then it repeats.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a weird phenomenon. And sometimes I'll like be throughout my day and I won't remember my dream the night before, but I'll like talk to someone. Like say it's you. Like we start a conversation in person and I'm like, "Oh, and then I remember the dream." And I'm like, "Oh, now I remember Jack was actually in my dream last night." And then I remember the dream. Also, going back to the reality check that you just had, it just reminded me. I remember when we were on vacation, I was with Jack and his family, so I wasn't with my family or anything, and we were on the boat doing something, and I remember at that point I remembered, it just popped up in my mind. I remembered my dream from last night, and my mom died in my dream. And when I woke up, I think I was really upset about it, and I think I don't remember if I cried or not, but then I forgot about it, and then we were on the boat. I remembered it again, and I was like, you know what, like I gotta text my mom. So I texted my mom. I was like, Mom, I really love you. I'm really grateful for you. Blah blah blah. So these dreams sometimes give you a reality check, and it's like, damn, maybe I'm not like being appreciative enough, and I need to really show people that I'm grateful for them. So that made me really want to reach out to my mom because I wasn't with her at the time. I couldn't spend time with her in person.
It's funny you say that, talking about how much you appreciate your mom. I mean, I do too, but no joke. I shit you not. About a couple days ago, I texted her, "Ma, you off the perk," and she responded with, "What's perk?" I thought that was funny because you're like, "How much do you appreciate her?" No, I love her, but I just think it's funny. You got to toy with them a little. You got to
Yeah.
keep them on their toes. You
Yeah.
got to keep them up to the slang.
For
But
sure.
that's funny.
And-
It shows the difference in our texts.
So what's called
Yeah, I get it.
also. What were you gonna say?
I get it. No, I get it. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then that kind of leads into like meanings behind dreams.
Mhm.
So like there you see different things. I've done some research, and they say like if you're trapped in an elevator in a dream or something, and feel stuck in the dream, you could analyze your life and be like, oh, is there somewhere in my life where I really feel stuck? And then I started to try to analyze my dreams when I remembered them. So there's one time where I was being chased by a bunch of guys and they beat the shit out of me, right? I was running from them. And you ever run in your dream and like you feel like you can run fast but your body physically won't let you?
Super slow, you feel.
Right. So you're running super slow, and then they caught up to me. And they started beating the shit out of me. So it was just a bunch of random guys, right? And I just woke up and I was like, where in my life do I feel like I have no control? Where something in life is chasing me, and I feel like I can't keep up. Like I'm not in control of my life. So it made me think of a few things, and I was like, damn, maybe that's why I thought of these guys beating the shit out of me in my dream. There's something in my life that I feel like is kicking me to the floor, and I'm not being able to get up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had that same experience with falling. Let's say I fall in my dream. I try to like you're thinking like maybe something's wrong in my life. How what can this be and how can I change it?
Yeah.
Like also I love the dreams where I have just like pure motivation. Like sometimes I'll dream about literally just jumping off a plane, then like next thing you know, like it'll skip. I'm in like a Lamborghini in like Vegas or some shit with like a ton of money and like girls all over me, and like I'm just like running a business and whatever. And then the next day I have like a rush of just pure motivation. All I think about all day is like the dream I had the night before, and just like some like things that I feel like I want to do for myself, and like to help other people and help myself, and just I feel like a blast of just amazingness. And then the whole day is just like I feel insane.
Goes back to the reality check.
Yeah.
Shows that maybe you should have more fun in your life, like not
Yeah.
take everything so seriously. It's all
Yeah.
these little dreams, everything.
Yeah, so I think for the viewers, one thing that you guys can do is, some people, like Lance, you were just telling me before I went on the podcast, like you say to me, like, yo, I don't really dream, right?
I don't.
So
I
I
just
call
haven't been
bullshit
thinking
on
about
that. Is the science correct? I'm not a scientist, I can tell you, but what science says is that everyone actually dreams. Some people just don't
Oh,
remember it.
I've dreamed before.
Oh, right,
It's happened.
right.
I
But
don't
like
think it happened
people,
often.
people who don't remember their dreams often, they're like, oh, I don't dream, but you do. You just don't remember
I
it.
do, but I think it's possible to have a dreamless sleep.
Science says no.
Every
I'm
night.
not sure.
You're telling
though.
me, so you're telling me every single night and that you go to sleep, by the time you hit REM sleep, you're dreaming.
That's what they say.
Okay, I actually want to put out an example. When I was little, I used to have really bad nightmares. And so before I'd go to sleep every night, I'd try to dream about a blank slate. Like basically just all white. Like me walking in like a white like sheet of paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the whole night, basically I only thought of a white slate. So then I wouldn't have a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I'd remember from the night is just a white like
Interesting.
background. You know what I'm saying?
I actually yeah, I get it. I would actually do a similar thing. Like if I ever had a nightmare or stuff, I would dream about skiing. Shocking. But yeah, just I would literally imagine myself skiing, and then I would sometimes dream about that. Those are the only dreams I can remember. I don't remember many dreams.
Well,
Okay.
have you ever experienced deja vu?
Yeah, I guess everyone
I-
does, doesn't they? Yeah.
I almost feel like the dreams you don't remember is where you feel the deja vu from. You don't remember your
Yeah.
dreams, but you feel like you've seen it from somewhere, and it's from the dream you can't remember.
What about? There's a theory that's like deja vu is actually the same thing happening to you in another universe
Right.
at the exact same time.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that? You heard
Yeah.
that theory?
So many different theories and philosophies
Yeah.
that people have put out
Or,
there.
I mean, there's-
which one do you believe?
There's just there's a possibility your brain's misfiring and thinking you already went through something.
That too.
It's a possibility.
I
that
mean-
nothing that you literally have never done anything, or it's just same mundane task.
Yeah, the brain is a really interesting and strange thing that we
Yeah.
really don't know much about.
It's crazy.
So I mean, they also say with like people who have near death experiences, like someone who's like into Christianity or something, they believe in heaven and hell, right?
Yeah.
And then people who like really believe in it, and then people have a near death experience and like, oh, I died, I went to heaven, and
But
now
they
I'm
saw
back.
the light, you
Yeah.
know?
And is that true? Did they actually go to heaven for a second? Maybe. But it could also be their mind just believes that, so they made
Yeah.
the mind made it up for them. You don't know.
Yeah. You ever see, like, a lot of people think like the whole idea of heaven is like a split-second chemical reaction going on in your brain that happens, like, that triggers when you die, and it's like you think you're in heaven, and in your mind it can last forever, but it's in reality it's like a split second, just a chemical triggering, and it's like causing your visions, and then you're dead.
Right. And there's this science says they proved it. I don't know how it works or how they even analyze this, but they say after everyone dies, there's a period of 7 minutes, and for this 7 minutes your brain is still active after you're after how I guess if you're I don't know if it's in every situation, so like if you get shot in the head
Yeah.
or you just die by old age, like I don't know
Right.
what if this is applicable in every situation, but anyway, 7 minutes after you die, after you lose consciousness, your brain is still active, and your brain you lose consciousness in reality, but your consciousness is still there in the sense that your brain replays before you all of your memories, all of your important, all of your memories that you deem to be important. So like from your childhood, like stuff I think about right now, I can't even imagine. So like I die right now, and then I'll think of a vivid memory from when I was like 2 years old. I can't think of it now, but when I die, it'll play out for me. And like my first relationship, when you got married, all the good times you had with your friends, all these like different events that you deemed important play right before your eyes for 7 minutes. And for you, it feels like eternity because you're watching all this stuff,
Right.
but it's actually 7 minutes in real time. How did they measure this? Is it real? I have no idea, but that's what they say it is.
The only reason I would find that like somewhat hard to believe is just like, how would your brain know what the important memories are? Like, how could you're
Right.
saying it's like gonna pick them, choose them, and then like put it into a slideshow
Yeah.
for you? That seems a little far fetched.
Yeah.
That's the only thing to me. The part that's like that they sat there and picked the most important one. Like,
Yeah.
how would your brain know what's
Yeah.
important to you?
Because
it's
your
not
brain.
it's not your consciousnness.
Yeah, so then
chemical.
there's that idea where I mean it depends on what you believe. Some people believe your brain is you, whereas I'd say that your consciousness isn't strictly to your brain. So what I'm trying to say is your brain isn't you. So your mind isn't you. It's like a tool, but your consciousness is separate from that. But it depends on your beliefs on that.
I think, like I think if you put a brain in a jar, like it would still be the same. It would try and do everything a body could do if you could somehow measure it.
But doesn't doesn't the brain have to have like the body to orchestrate something. I wonder.
Yes,
I
but-
wonder if you put a brain in a jar, but there's no
It'll grow
blood flow,
legs.
there's no nothing, anything. But like theoretically, it has no host or anything. But the brain is the brain, right?
Yeah.
So does that brain have some sort of consciousness, even though it's sitting in a jar and it has no body or anything?
I would think so. I would have to imagine on some level your consciousness is tied to your brain because everything's going on in your brain. Like you're perceiving things that are happening in your brain. You know, it's the sensation versus perception. AP
Mhm.
Psych, by the way. Shout out to Miss Hart. You don't know things, so like put it this way: if your brain can't process something, your consciousness isn't going to receive it. You're not going to like there's the people that can't feel pain or whatever. Like there's
Yeah,
like two
yeah.
people out there.
yeah.
There's like 4 people out there,
I
whatever.
learned that in anatomy.
Yeah. Shout out. Who's your teacher?
Santacita or something like that.
Shout
That's
out.
something like that. You pronounce it something like
Raising
that.
the youth of America. Anyway, I'm saying that those people who can't feel pain, they don't feel the pain. Their brain doesn't receive that signal or whatever. They have no idea it's happening. So
Right.
how can consciousness be separate from the brain? That's just what I think.
Yeah.
Like, so they're not thinking it's happening. They're not reacting to it.
Right.
So that's just part of it that makes me think like consciousness. How can it be separate from the brain without the brain needs the brain?
Yeah, I mean, talking about like spirituality and stuff, there's this. It's not a theory. People claim that they actually do it. And I believe in it personally, but I haven't done it yet, so I can't. So it's once you get to a certain level of meditation and control over the mind and everything, something called astral projection.
I know this.
So
we're
it's
going
when
Dr.
people
Strange up in here.
when people literally leave their body and they float around the fucking universe, the world, and shit like that. So what they do is they leave their body. So and if that's true, then they are separated from their mind because the mind. But then then I can say the mind is constricted to the body, but is it? Is the
Yes.
mind constricted to the body?
Yes.
But now the mind is the brain itself, but the energy it possesses, is that restricted to that?
Well,
How can we
actually,
tell?
some people believe that like spirits and stuff are real and whatever, and they say that if you are afraid and you're not in like you can't do you're not a pro at meditation and you're not like comfortable in your own skin, when you leave your body, when you astral project, you can get like possessed by like a
someone,
spirit,
like someone else is gonna
like
take
someone
your body,
else, and you can't, and
and then you're a lost soul.
then you're lost and you're trapped out of your body.
Now you're saying
And
spirits.
you can go wherever you want. Like you'll
Right.
walk around, like
Yeah.
you can do whatever you
All right,
want.
but
you know?
before we go any further, I have to tell the viewers: do not try to astral project if you don't know anything about this. I don't want to be liable for people dying, and for spirits can take and control you and shit. I don't want to be responsible for that. So, all right,
Disclaimer.
own
Disclaimer.
research.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
do your own research.
Don't jump out of your body.
You might fall
Um,
off a cliff. You never know. No. So when you said spirits alive, are you talking about ghosts?
Yeah.
Ghosts. Okay.
Well, ghosts as in like,
I got something
yeah.
to say about this. I think I heard I heard David Dobrik talking about this a little bit, and I completely agree with it. He said if you're a person and you know how some people claim that they see ghosts, right?
yeah, like they hear like creaks and
No,
they see
some people
things
Some
moving,
people full on claim
or
that
can
they've seen
see
a
or like
ghost
see
or
them.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I saw a ghost, I would dedicate my life to making sure people know that they are real. I have not seen anybody out there. What are they gonna make the Ghostbusters movie? If I saw a ghost floating through my living room, I am going online. I am going to the authorities. I don't know, but I am dedicating my
blogging
life
every day.
Exactly. I'm dedicating my life to prove that ghosts are real because people think they're fake.
Yeah.
So if they're really real, I don't see these crazy.
Honestly, I
maybe
feel like
maybe I think they're crazy. Maybe
yeah, but
that's
like
the
how are
problem.
those things where like maybe people don't want you to see it, so it doesn't get out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're saying we're
The-
talking
the
like
censorship.
conspiracy.
Like
Censorship.
authorities. Like authorities
they're
don't
they're
want
keeping
people
this-
knowing
Mm.
that they're real. They know they're real, but if somebody tries to get it out there, they like vanish
Right,
it.
ISIS is keeping this nice and deep down. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Maybe people do that and all their stuff is just like eliminated and like they're
Right,
just
that's-
targeted. You know?
Yeah.
I believe they do have. I mean, I'm not sure, but I believe if you looked up on YouTube, I think they have like ghost hunters and shit like that. Like people
Yeah, they
dedicate
do.
YouTube
Yeah, but I
channels
feel like
and
that's
stuff like
like
that.
set up.
They
You
have a
know?
whole
Who
show.
knows? Who
They have a
knows?
whole. I think they like real shows like on TV,
Yeah, they
the
do.
cable,
They do. I've seen
and
that.
that's good, bro. That's like obviously fake. They're like using like devices, and it's like play the sound backwards. Get out! Like, come on, like that. That's not real.
Okay, but if you believed in ghosts, you probably believe
You'd watch
them.
that and
And you watch
believe
it because you're interested in it.
Those people are just crazy. I mean, come on.
Just wait until you see a ghost, Lance.
Then I'm going on that show.
Yeah,
if I
for
see a
sure,
ghost,
for
I'm
sure,
telling you, I'm
yeah.
dedicating I'm coming back on this podcast, and I am putting my foot down, and I'm saying ghosts
Holy
are
shit! Do
real.
you see that? No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
No, bro, we can't have that type of censorship here. We're not gonna be able to let you back on. Like they're watching us up there, man. They're watching us.
Where are the cameras? Huh? Huh? Where are they?
Right there.
That's right.
Oh, I see one. I see one. I don't know. That's in my opinion. I feel like if I'm seeing a ghost, I am pulling out all the stops. I'm right. I mean, come on, because I don't believe they're real until I see one. I need some proof. I'm the kind of guy who needs some
You're
logic.
the science guy.
I need some. Yeah, I need some proof.
Scientific
all right?
evidence.
So when the astral projection, I want to see some proof. All right, I want to feel my arm going woo by some soul or a spirit. Or
Well, you could probably
Alright,
just take
learn
drugs for that
meditation.
one, but
Brad, you gotta teach him meditation so,
So-
that you can do
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
if I can like, I just need if I see like a hint of proof astral projection's real, I'll come back and I'll listen. I'll bow down. But there's no proof. People can claim all they want. People with mental illness claim they saw the devil. Like, you know what I mean?
They
So
probably saw the devil.
yeah.
But
we think they're crazy.
they could
They're
have
crazy.
actually so they could have actually saw the devil and it's real, or again their brain made it up.
They're just
But
hallucinating.
they
Exactly.
did actually see it, but it's like a hallucination.
So-
they did actually see it, but it's not there for
So
us.
how do you have no idea astral projection's the same way?
But then also, how do you, even though they saw it, but most of us didn't, how do you dictate
What if they're
fantasy?
special?
How do you dictate fantasy from reality?
fantasy is like elves and stuff. They don't exist.
Not like that shit.
like
Just like,
trolls.
how do you
They don't
know
exist.
what's real and what isn't? Like
Okay,
we don't even, we could be dreaming right now, and how would you know?
How about that whole
Brad,
thing?
How would you know if we're
can I
dreaming
just
or
say
not right
something
now?
real quick?
Yeah,
The most recent Matrix movie was so bad.
it was bad.
You cannot even
It
keep
was
up.
bad.
The movie has disrespected the whole Matrix theory.
You're correct.
I think the movie is so bad that you can't even believe in the Matrix theory anymore. That's how bad that movie was. I sat there for 3 hours and I wish I would meditate to get that time back. I want that time back. That movie I can't even think of the Matrix.
It was difficult to
like
get
thing,
through.
but
You ever
yeah.
hear about the thing called machine elves?
No.
So
That sounds like some of that fantasy though.
basically, like, that's what happens, like, when you do, like, all that stuff with like the astral projection, like, you see things like that, you know?
Well,
the
like I
machine
just see
elves.
elves.
It's like this whole, like, theory basically with them. I got to do more research on it, but it's like some, like, creepy shit
No,
Yeah.
that you see.
you're saying machine elves? Like
Yeah, but they're not like, they don't look like actual elves. They look like
Like-
monsters, kind of.
Terminator? Like what do you mean machine? I'm trying to
I got it.
Like demonic elves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like that.
Demonic elves.
Just like that. You see shit
like
like
they
that.
got red eyes, blood dripping.
But we'll do more research on it, and I'll explain it.
I'd like to hear more about that in part 2.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
'Cause
But
that's-
yeah. So, I think am I
But-
the only one? Oh, go ahead.
again with the perception versus sensation. You know, you were talking about how do we know any of this is real? How do we know this any of this isn't a dream? I saw this thing on TikTok where it's like, how do you? It's crazy to think other people live lives and have consciousness.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, I saw
And-
that.
To me, it's just like it's so. I don't want to say crazy or far fetched, but like to think this is all a dream. How could that even be possible? Like
Like,
you're
everybody's
telling
living
me,
their own
you're
lives.
telling me right now, if it was a dream, you wouldn't be real,
But
right?
how do you define what's real? What does real even
Real
mean?
is like
real
can
is
feel
what
my
you can
fingers, I can-
touch. What you
I can touch Brent's shoulder. I can, you know, I hear my voice. I hear your voice. I hear your voice. I could see everything with my eyes.
But who's to say that isn't just all made up by your mind?
Me, I'm saying that.
How do
Right.
you, how do you
You're
know
saying
I
that,
just
but-
felt that?
Did you just feel that?
Maybe I didn't.
But did you?
He can see. He can say he did, but maybe he
yeah,
didn't.
it's
And then another thing, if this is the Matrix, I would preserve resources by every time someone looks away from something, I wouldn't render it. So you're telling me, so if it was me, since I'm not facing behind me, nothing exists behind
Mhm.
me. But I turn around, it's bam, it's
Yeah.
there, it's there. No, I see. Look, this railing, it's still there,
Right.
even though I'm not looking at it.
this reminds me of some stuff I see in the internet where you see like, for example, like the whole basketball team is they all turn around at the same exact time, or some weird
Mm.
stuff
Just
like
coincidences.
that. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
But
We don't call it
real
coincidences,
quick, in
right?
case you guys didn't know what the Matrix is, it's a movie series. But what the concept is essentially our lives are a simulation, and
Okay.
in the real world, the AI have taken over, and
Mhm.
they harvest us for energy and stuff like that. So all of our consciousnesses are plugged into like it's called the Matrix. It's the system. It's our made up reality. That's the concept of the movie. So the conspiracy theory is that we're living in the Matrix right now,
In
and
real
none of
life.
this is actually real. And this is
But Brad,
But also,
coincidences are not real. What is it called?
synchronicities.
Explain that.
So synchronicities are essentially it's essentially everything happening for a reason. So what you would say coincidence. So like
Hmm.
say you go throughout your entire day, and then at 4 o'clock you're just living your day. I don't think about Jack. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think about Jack. Just the thought of him comes into my mind. 10 seconds later, he calls me.
calls.
Some people would say that's coincidence. Oh, it just happened by chance.
Yeah.
I say there's a reason behind that. Can I tell you exactly what the reason is? Not
I-
always, but we'd call that a synchronicity, and saying that happened for a reason.
It's interesting. I actually think about that a lot because I think it's not a lot about chance, but I think it's the pattern seeking brain because we developed the pattern seeking brain when we evolved. So in my mind, like I think I heard about this, and it's like if you earlier in the day you hear a certain word that you've never heard before, like I've never heard
Synchronicity.
synchronicity. Tomorrow, I'm reading my AP Psych book, and all of a sudden I see that word. It's going to stand out more to me than another word that I've never heard about.
Right.
So a lot of times it's like, oh, I see something that reminded me of Jack. I see, whatever, a Hollister shirt, and I see a Hollister store, and then bam, I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I'm kind of thinking about Jack, and I get a call, and bam, it's connected. My
Right.
brain will connect that because that's
Yeah.
the pattern seeking.
Yeah, like back to dreams. Like this one time, like I had a dream with like some of like the boys and whatever, and
Wait, clarify, the boys of the show or like the boys?
the homies.
Okay, alright.
Show's lit.
Yeah, that show's really
Just
good.
want to clarify.
And like the second I got up, it was just like everybody just started texting me. It was like really weird. Like I woke up and like I was like, okay, like maybe like I was thinking back to the dream, like all of us like hanging out, like
Yeah.
and then the same exact people who were in the dream all texted me to hang out that day.
Right? Yeah.
You know?
Happens.
So it's like we don't even think about our dreams that deeply, but like our dreams are really connected to our reality, whether we like to think about it or not.
So the synchronicity
Mhm.
is that? Are you saying that's matrix based, or that's just you
No,
don't, you
not
don't like the word coincidence?
Yeah, every time I say
Yeah,
it, he's
it's
like,
not Matrix. It's not
"That's
based
not-
on
that's
like
not
that
real."
conspiracy
It's
theory.
not. It has nothing to do with
No.
matrix. It's just. Is it the same thing as a coincidence? I just want to. I didn't fully.
Yeah,
Didn't
so,
really. Didn't really
differentiate
process
the
that.
two,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, so like a lot of people would just say coincidence for anything like that, whether it's just some random thing and then something happens that's not correlated at all, or two things that are correlated but they happen. People still call it a coincidence. So like the situation I just gave about thinking about Jack at that time, and then like a few seconds later calls him, whatever, call that a synchronicity. If it's two events that aren't related at all, like you're standing outside and you happen to look up at a certain time and you just see a plane and then you hear it. Like that's not really I wouldn't call that a synchronicity. I could call that a coincidence just because there's no meaning behind it. So essentially with the synchronicities is there's like a meaning behind the thing happening. You might not know what the meaning is, but there's a purpose.
Mhm.
Okay.
The
If
amount
that
of-
makes sense.
Yeah, that's happened to me so many times. It even happened to me today. So, I mean, these things happen all the time, and you know, you really don't know if these things are real or if we're dreaming. I mean, this all leads back to dreams. You cannot differentiate reality from fantasy.
And then that brings me into lucid dreaming. Am I the only one here who's had one, or you guys maybe have had one?
I
It-
cannot remember.
I
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, okay, so I had this one dream that basically I had to go to the bathroom really bad, right? And I went into this random bathroom and I just started peeing. But then, like in real life, I felt like I was peeing,
Did you actually?
and I actually peed myself.
Okay.
Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, I don't even know how that works, but I feel like that relates kinda in a sense.
I wouldn't
Does
call it lucid dream, but it's weird how, like, you're in the
I
you're
can feel it.
right, you're in the dream, but also your consciousness is slightly
Like, I
awake.
feel like I'm walking into a bathroom and I'm actually going,
Right.
and then like I actually feel it in real life.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's lucid dreaming, and I think there's also like things that we can't actually capture and define with the mind, but there's like small states of consciousness where we're like a little bit more conscious than. So what I mean is like you're kind of lucid dreaming in the sense that you know you're dreaming, but you don't fully know that you're dreaming. So you're not in control of your dreams and stuff like that. So like that where
I knew I
you
was in my
kind of
dream.
knew
Yeah.
you knew you were in your
Yeah.
dream, and then you like peed and it actually happened in real life, but you kind of knew you were
Yeah,
like
but,
in between.
How about the people who know they're in the dream and they just are like, all right, I'm gonna go flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
they just
that-
get
yeah.
up and just fly,
They
So-
turned into
and
Superman.
they feel it.
So
you know?
that's the lucid dreaming that I'm talking about. Like that's the stuff that I've done.
Yeah.
So that then what?
Before you get into that, is there something that you did to lucid dream, or is that something that just
can you do
happened?
something?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it. I mean, I'm assuming it could happen by chance to someone if you don't even know what it is, and it just kind of happens. But what I did is I like discovered it and like on YouTube. Like I saw a YouTube video about. I think it was like this is what lucid dreaming looks like, and it was just like some guy flying, blah blah blah, this and that. They like pictured it out and shot a video or whatever. But then I researched on how can I lucid dream tonight? How can I lucid dream? And so they tell you different things like when you're laying in bed before you go to sleep, think about lucid dreaming. Like say to yourself, I believe I'm going to lucid dream tonight. And then and actually get yourself to believe that you're going to do it. And then it's not guaranteed, but your chances will go up of you being able to do it. And they also say, and so going back to the reality check, when you're lucid dreaming, you know you're dreaming, but it feels completely real, 100%. So I'm dreaming right now. I know I'm dreaming, but we're shooting this podcast, and we're not actually dreaming. But so in the dream,
How do you know that?
what? Oh, I don't.
No.
I'm kind of like confusing myself.
Oh,
So I'm in the dream. I'm lucid dreaming. I know I'm dreaming,
Yes.
but I'm here right now, and this feels so real. But I know I'm dreaming. So sometimes when I've lucid dreamed, I can't control my dreams. So like I know I'm dreaming, but the dream, however it's supposed to play out, it just plays out, and I can't really control what's gonna happen.
You raw dog it.
Yeah, basically. So, and then there's other lucid dreams where I'm in it and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, like you just said about flying, there was one time I was like, holy shit, I'm dreaming. And then I literally, sometimes it takes me a few times. Like, I'll know I'm dreaming and I jump in the air and I'm like, fuck. Like, I know I want to fly, but I literally run and I jump and I just fall back to the ground. I'm like, fuck. But then I'm like, all right, I have to believe in myself. So I have to fully believe that I'm going to be able to jump off the ground right now and fly. And once you fully believe it, you do it. And then they also say,
Can I
and
ask you a question first?
yeah.
So you're a lifelong Batman fan, right?
I used to be a big fan of him. I still like him. Yeah.
That's been
Right.
your favorite for a
Okay.
while.
Yeah.
In your dream, do you choose flying like Superman over being Batman?
I do.
Wow.
I do.
I'm just
Because Batman's just like using like a grappling hook and shit. It's not as cool.
So what's the allure? What
We're not
brings
gonna
you in?
talk. We'll talk about that another time.
Alright.
Alright. But I just like him as a character better. I like his. I like his.
I'm depressed.
No, I like his vibe, the way he carries himself, his
Right.
confidence, stuff like that. I feel like, and I kind of like the darker stuff a little bit
It's too
better
dark
than like
for me.
the
Right.
Superman.
No,
that's
I
like,
get it.
"Ah." You know what I mean?
Yeah, Batman. He suffers. He
yeah. No,
sacrifices.
yeah.
I get it.
I don't like that personally. It's just It's not a vibe.
All right, but
It's not
back,
good vibes.
but back,
You know? Just like being dark all the time, like thinking about like shitty things that happen to yourself, like
using it to
like,
hurt
that's
other people.
Yeah, like it's terrible. Like
I love the thing where it's like,
I like Spider-Man. You know,
who doesn't? Who
I like Spider-Man.
You could be a DC fan, you still like
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
100%.
no, but
doesn't
he's
like
been
Spider-Man?
my favorite since like I was a little kid.
Right.
Like PS2 playing the Spider-Man games.
Of course.
You know,
I think this is a conversation that we should have.
When we're talking about something
Yes,
different. All right.
Oh.
So back to the lucid dreaming. So what they say I've seen in the YouTube videos is since you're dreaming. All right. So you get to the point where you know you're dreaming, but at first you feel like you might be lucid dreaming, but you're not 100% sure. So what you have to do is they're called reality checks. So one of the things that one of the YouTubers said to do is put your hands up. So like you think you're lucid dreaming, put your hand up like this, and if you're in reality,
Hold on. Walk us through it. Let's all do it. Let's all do it right now.
all right, put your hand up.
Let's get it, guys.
If you're in real life, it's just gonna look like a normal hand, and
You got
things are
5
gonna stay the
fingers.
same. And it's right. But if you're lucid dreaming, you might have an extra finger. You might be missing a finger, and so he only said that, and then he said like, in some way, shape, or form, your hand will look weird. So the first time I lucid dreamed, I wasn't sure if it was real or not. And when I put my hand up, I didn't see anything different. I had all my fingers, blah, 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 everything looked normal. I kept looking at my hand, like 2 seconds later, my hand started to vibrate. Like if you think about things in like waves, my entire hand started to vibrate and become like a wave.
And a big thing is do not look in the mirror.
I haven't tried that, but I've heard that. We'll go into that in a second.
Why you look like a deer?
What's it called? So
like a deer.
once I realized that my hand was vibrating, I was like, holy shit, I'm dreaming. Then I was able to fly, and I literally looked up to the sky, and there was a tree sideways, and it just flew across the sky. I was like, holy shit, I'm dreaming right now.
That's not supposed
Right.
to happen.
No, okay, now I know I'm dreaming, and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
You can literally do whatever you want. Like, you can have certain people in your life, like, just show up, just certain situations just happen. You could do whatever you want, right? You literally create your own reality inside of your dream, but it feels completely real. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
How do you
I wanna-
decide? Like, how do you know what you want to do then? You have so many options, I guess, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I don't even like. I mean, I've only done it like 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. There was one time where I chose what I wanted to do, and
Only
stuff
one
like
time?
that. Once or twice, but then there was one in particular that I remember where I was completely aware of what was going on, but I chose to just go throughout the dream the way it was
Go with the
already going. I was just
flow.
going with the flow, right? So I don't remember exactly specifically, but I remember waking up in my bed, and there was someone in my room, and I looked out. I looked outside of my window, and the house was like in the air. Like if you go on like a plane to go skydiving, where the house was that high in the air.
Like up.
The movie Up.
Yeah, like
Yeah, up. Yeah.
Oh, of
so
course, of
so I
course.
look out the window, and I see like, I literally, the bus from Fortnite. I see that shit. This was like a year or 2 ago. Whatever.
Buzz from Fortnite.
Yeah. So I
fly through the air.
so I see that shit, right? And I'm like, you know what? I know I'm dreaming, so let me just jump out of my fucking window. So I jump out of the window, and I start to see like floating houses and shit other than
They
mine.
all have the balloons like up. Or is it
No,
just-
I
they
don't
were
know.
just
I don't
floating?
remember.
How were they,
I don't remember. They were just floating, and then
you didn't even think the bus driver.
Wait, did you drop Greasy Grove? I hope.
No, I didn't. All right, so anyway, I jumped out of the window and I was like skydiving, and then I remember everything was like in like a tornado. So like there were houses like on the edge of the tornado, and I was in the middle of the tornado, and I was going down. And I remember getting to the bottom, and I just woke up. But I woke up into another dream. I don't remember what the dream was right now. But then that brings me to another concept where it's like kind of like Inception,
Oh,
where it's like a
number one
dream within a dream.
I heard you can't actually remember anything. It's just like things that like when you say a story, it's not fully what actually happened. You make up some things that happen
Feel-
because you can't actually remember what
you
actually
fill
happened.
in the gaps, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? It's
That
possible.
makes sense.
Yeah. So, I have a question. So, do you have control of when you end your dream, and when it ends, how do you feel?
You mean when I wake up?
Yeah.
I remember feeling
Like you like, oh
just
shit, I wanna go back. Like,
yes, and I just feel amazed like that it happened. And sometimes sometimes I can choose to wake up and sometimes I don't choose to wake up. So I remember one time where it's like I knew I was dreaming and I was lucid dreaming, but I was like fading in and out of like real consciousness. So like in the dream, my eyes were like opening and closing, right? And you get that like when you open and close your eyes, like things get darker and stuff like that. And I noticed that I was like, shit, like this is making me wake up. So I was in the dream and I wanted to stay in the dream, but my body was my mind were forcing me
it's
to wake up.
time to get up.
And there was one time, and one of the
It's a long
times,
time right now.
yeah, we're gonna have to end this in a minute. But I remember one time where my body was like waking me up and I was like, shit, I don't want to fucking wake up. But it was like forcing me to, and then I eventually did.
Can I ask one final thing for everyone
Yeah.
before we end this soon enough? What conditions need to be met to fall asleep? Because I'll start off real quick. I need like pitch black is like as little light as possible. Although I will fall asleep with my TV on. I'm just curious what you all go through.
I cannot have any light. I also need pitch black, and I don't need sound, but it makes it a lot easier.
So yeah, I need pitch. Like a lot of people sleep with like lights on and shit like that. I
Mhm.
can't do that. If there's light, I'm
Night
like
light,
having trouble falling asleep. So I need pitch black, and like if there's people talking in the background, like it's like it bothers me.
Yeah.
So I need silence. Like if it's like if I'm listening to like certain like calming music or something, then that's fine. But anything other than that, it throws me off.
Yeah, like before you speak, like I can fall asleep to someone jackhammering as long as it's the same constant noise. I can fall asleep, but if there's
Really?
people having a conversation, can't happen.
I need a bed, and that's it.
You can't
And
sleep
no
on a
one
couch.
snoring next to me.
You can't sleep on a couch.
Do you usually sleep with people that snore next to you?
No.
I don't snore.
Okay, so that problem's gone.
And
I don't
all I
snore.
need, literally, all I need is a bed, and I'll instantly just
So can you make a couch work?
yeah. But
Or
like,
it has to be
I prefer a
specifically
bed.
has to be a bed,
I prefer a bed,
And real quick,
preferably my bed.
obviously.
one last thing.
Just a bed.
Has anybody
Not too firm, though.
experienced sleepwalking?
Oh.
Because I feel like that's something that I would love to do, but
My
I
dad
do not
did
know how
that.
that's gonna
My
happen.
dad used to
do you
do
guys
that.
know what sleep terrors are? Or night terrors.
terrors.
Don't get
Or
too
like
deep into it, but
what
It's-
about like
I
sleep,
meant to bring this up earlier.
like
Uh-huh.
sleep paralysis?
No. I've never had that. But night terrors.
Yeah, I had that.
Night terrors are nightmares, but much, much worse because they happen in a different stage of sleep. I heard about this in psych. It's during when your brain cannot discern if it's real life or a dream, like
Yep.
usually it can when you're in like the REM sleep or whatever. Anyway, as a kid, I used to have them, and one time my mom, or like I think it may happen more than once, my mom legitimately heard me screaming downstairs. She walks downstairs and sees me screaming, bumping into the refrigerator
Okay,
over and over
I've
again.
had that.
You've
happen
had
to me.
that? That's
I've
a night
had-
terror.
Okay, so basically, I was
I don't remember 'em.
I was laying in my bed. I thought I was awake. I wasn't awake. Next thing you know, I look out the window. I'm in the sky. There's a huge clown that looks like Pennywise holding my house up in the sky. And I'm looking at him and he's about to eat me. And he takes the house, starts eating that side to the house. And then the second like he's about to eat me, I wake up and I'm panting like I just fucking died.
Interesting.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So has anybody actually sleepwalked?
Well,
My dad has.
during the night terrors.
Have
I
you
did.
ever asked him about it? Because
Yeah.
that's something very interesting that I'm not sure if a lot of people have experienced. And if you have, put it in the comments because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would like to know
during
how that works.
during the night terrors, I would move around the house.
Okay.
Huh.
Like I said, I would find me downstairs, but I wasn't like. But yeah, so I guess does that answer your question? Did I sleepwalk? But like
My-
I wasn't like I
my
never
dad-
woke up before like standing
He
downstairs.
said
Okay.
that his mom used to tell him that when he was younger, he would wake up in the middle of the night, walk downstairs, and look into the fridge, and he'd be
Yeah.
asleep,
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
staring into the
Yeah.
fridge,
Yeah.
like because like he'd be hungry during
Yeah.
night, you know.
Yeah.
He just opens the fridge, shuts it, and then goes back to bed.
But have you ever has he like woken up while he was like in the fridge, or does he always wake up back in bed? Like you
I'm
said,
not.
you
I'm
woke
not
up
completely sure. I
standing up.
just.
How does that?
I've
No,
feel?
heard
I
that
didn't-
story before.
I don't remember waking up standing up because like my mom said she would wake me up, but I don't remember like waking up.
Yeah, they say like people who sleepwalk, they don't remember it and they
Like
have no
I think
recollection of
most
it.
nights I would be like wake up and the next morning my mom would be like super tired and I'd be like, "Why are you tired?" And she'd be like, "I was dealing with your ass all night." And I'd be like, "What happened?" I don't remember it. Like I don't remember them happening.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, all right, so to wrap this up, I mean, you guys, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for having
I
us.
appreciate it.
And,
guys. Thank you for coming on.
Much
For-
enjoyed. Hope to be
Love you
back
guys.
soon enough.
We're going to have a lot of guests on soon. And so, do your own research on lucid dreaming because that shit is awesome. You might want to try that out, but be
Yeah.
careful at the same time. Make sure you figure out the do's and don'ts when you're in it. And also, analyze your dreams when you remember them because they might actually show you areas in your life that you can improve upon, stuff you're dealing with, and stuff like that you might not realize when you're actually awake.
All right. I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was a really good episode. Thank you guys for watching. We love you.
Peace.
Yeah.